And hold your arm out and close your eyes. And I want you to think about your last bad experience, either a race or a bad training day. Try to remember it as vividly as possible. Try to remember the thoughts that were going through your mind and try to remember how you felt. Remember how you explained it to others. Okay. Now, this time. Close your eyes. Same thing. Okay, this time, think back to your best race or your most fantastic training day. The day where everything was going right and how you felt, and just remember it as vividly as you can. Think about how you explained it to others. Okay? So, thank you, Andrea. So, that was just sort of to show that when you start thinking negatively, you are weak. You become weaker. And when you start thinking positively and you think about those positive experiences, you're stronger. And when your head tells you that you're slow and that you want to slow down, you're going to slow down. A lot of it is up here, you guys. So this is why we're here. All right. And just to kind of go back, because a few of you that are here, I've worked with you individually, and I've heard, and not necessarily from you guys individually, but I've heard a lot of negativity over the years. And I'm guilty of it too. Steve caught me the other day saying something, and he's like, now, what was that again? And I'm like, oh. I didn't mean that. But I have tried to be a lot more conscious about my own thoughts because I do know how much it affects performance. So I just kind of want you to think about some of the things that I've heard are things like, right out of the gate, she is so much faster than me. There is no way I can hold my breath for two strokes as I come out of the flip turn. I can't wait for this Ironman to be over. Oh no, another workout on the treadmill. I'm going to have a terrible race today. This is before the race. I'm going to have a terrible race today because I had such a bad night's sleep. So these are all things that I hear that are setting you up for kind of a bad day. So I want you to practice just kind of being real conscious about your thoughts. And when a negative one comes in, just see if you can turn it around. Okay? And there are some tools. There's some tools that we can use to help with this. And I'm just going to run through some, and then Mike is going to kind of take over and talk a little bit in more detail. Like somebody here told me their mantra that they use for running. And do we have that one? And biking as well. Okay. So the one for riding is I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then the one for running is boomalaka, 1, 2. Boomalaka, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then mine for the run is like for a speed workout, I like to say calm breath, fast legs, calm breath, fast legs. And then my one for hills is up and over, up and over, up and over. So mantras are a good thing to have. And if you pick one that you like, you will use it and it will help you, I promise. Positive self-talk. And also, one of the things with this, and for those of you who've done races with me, you know that I smile during the race. Maybe it's because the camera is close by, but smiling actually does help. It helps you perk up, and who knows what else I do at every race that also has to do with smiling.
You look smiley face on the back of your leg.
Yep. I always ask the body marker to put a smiley face on my other calf, and I don't see it, but people ride by me and they're like, "Oh, nice smiley face," and I'm like, "Oh, yep, that's right, that's right." Okay. So imagery is one thing you can do. It's kind of like where you go to your happy place, the beach, the mountains. Visualization, just kind of visualizing how your race is going to go. Just kind of sitting there before the race and just kind of go through it. Muscle relaxation, deep breathing. If Deb were here, she could have showed us some yoga poses. But yoga and stretching. And then goal setting and managing your environment. And those two things we're going to talk a little bit more in more detail. But I want Mike to talk about some of these tools because he's really good at this.
Okay. when everyone starts thinking about everything that Coach Mari says, Coach Mari is the most valid tool you can use. The reason why is because she's done it. You run triathlons from, you said at the beginning, you're a valuable tool. You've done it. You've seen the advancements. You know the advancements. These are the best things that you can use. Someone telling you, like someone saying they have with the problems going over the hill. And to know that Coach Mari uses up and over, up and over, up and over as hers kind of validates what she's also saying. Because now when you're in it, you might have to come up with hers or come up with your own later. But any mental skill that you can use is great. We start thinking about sport psychology. What it is not is sitting down on a couch with some guy with his leg or leg crossed with a tablet. That's not for 50 years. That's not sport and exercise psychology. Actually, sport and exercise psychology is coming out in things like this, going to the field, going to the track. I would have been at the swim, but I had class. I was actually in class and actually talked about it a little bit because someone had a concern about lines and the bottom of the surface being dark. We can talk about that another time. But because I'd rather talk about things like that individually, because my problem with, not that I do it, but my problem with swimming in open water may be totally different than Coach Marty's. And we don't want to put her issue in my head. Does everyone kind of get what I'm getting at? Because it's so individual why. Sometimes you can just be training. Instead of swimming along the lines, you just go diagonal across the pool. Get rid of the lines. It can be something as simple as that. Or it can be something more, my cousin actually pushed me out of the boat in the lake that looks just like this when I was 10. I mean, seriously, people have serious issues and you'll be very surprised. But we don't want to go to boat or lines, but really it was the boat when you were 10. And okay, you're 25 now, your cousin's not around, let's go. You know, it can be that simple or more difficult. But back, mental skills, psychological skills, mental skills, psychological skills that can increase your performance enhancement. That's one of the biggest issues that you can deal with. When we were talking out here beforehand, someone who may want to run a 10K in 42 minutes, right? But you're running at, let's say, 53. It won't help you go to 41 minutes. Okay, let's just be real. There's training that's involved, there's Coach Mari that's involved that's going to get you there. But it can help you go from 53 to 50, 51. Okay, just by changing a little bit of your thought pattern and things that you're doing. Learn to set effective goals. Deal with wins and losses. Be a leader of yourself, especially in your sport. When we talk about being a leader, lead yourself. Okay, don't worry about I'm running behind Steve, I got to catch Steve. This could be Steve's best race ever in life. Then I go, well, I'm going to get behind Steve again today. Well, Steve back to his normal self slows me down. Okay, so let's talk about yourself. Stay composed under pressure, composure, and enjoy your experiences in sport. Smile. So the things that Coach Mari was talking about were things that, and we wrote these down separately, we talked about them on the phone, but then as we went back and talked, and I wrote, she wrote, they're kind of the same things. Skills are not just good for this. Skills are not just good for good presentation, come eat pizza, have fun, talk about it, forget about it. Skills are something that you will have to use every day. You have to get better at so that when you need them in a race, they're there. You can't do it one time today. We talk about, let's say we talk about confidence. And you get in your mind what confidence is to you. Go home, write it down. Pull out your, I do it all the time, put it in a note in your phone. Smartphones for a reason. Go back to them. When you're training and it becomes, it's 60 something now, but next week when it's 98, use it. Pull it back out. Use it again. When it's raining, use it. When it's a pretty, clear, beautiful day, use it. Because guess what happens when you get in a real race of competition? It'll come back to you naturally. Just like the kind of things that you're taught to do. Those are natural things. Mental tools that we'll talk about using, and I can stop after this, is self-talk, again, your inner thoughts. Okay? Confidence, trusting yourself, and goal setting, setting up your achievements. And I like to say set up your achievements, kind of my little thing. set up your achievements because you want to achieve something at every level. With this sport, I'm sure a lot of you want to get faster every race. You want to shorten your time every time. So that's your achievement. So goal setting, that's what we're going to set goals for. And you can easily do that, but you have to practice it. And that when this Coach Martin made me realize, I need to say that out loud, that you have to practice mental skills as you do, getting your heart rate down, controlling your breathing, practicing your run, practicing your kick, practicing your stroke, breathe. You have to also practice the mental skills as you practice. So,
can I add one thing to that? One of the things that I realized is you almost have to use it throughout your life. You can't just leave it for your sport.
Right.
What you practice is a good cycle just in your regular life. It helps to kind of filter in, and it just keeps the practice going rather than just waiting to the run.
How many of you have been around an elite athlete, like someone who gets paid to do what they do? How many of you have been around somebody like that? How do they act in regular life?
In real life?
Yeah, they're like right off the field, off the court, off the grass.
Very. I mean, some of them are arrogant bosses.
Exactly. They're arrogant, but your arrogance is their confidence.
Yeah.
And they're confident on the field, they're confident off the field. They walk into a room, you know they're in the room. You can be in a room full of people. I do nonprofit management and consulting also. And when the pro athletes walk in, you know them. They don't have to say anything. You know who they are, and everybody else knows who they are. It's a confidence that they carry throughout. You're exactly right. Everyone has different skills to deal with different points of the race, points of difficulty, points of happiness. You'll be surprised how many people have more anxiety about being in front of the race than back. People get out and all of a sudden look around. Crap, am I doing something wrong? Am I going to give out? Am I going out too fast? Am I on the right course? Okay, let me go. Where's the people with the water? I mean, you're looking to make sure you're on the right course. That's a true statement. Did I make the right turn?
Well, you have to, like, in various marathons, you've had people following motorcycle brigade a mile from the finish in Arizona.
Like something like somebody up to the end.
Yeah,
they veered off, they had to come back and to third instead of first. Something crazy like that. That's a real thought, and it's real, and it plays on the mind. Some people start off the race, they're at mile, they're at the start. Mile 26 is all the way away. They're thinking about that already. I hope I don't veer off. These are real thoughts, but you can calm yourself. There's a bell curve, right? There's motivation on this end, or anxiety on this end, which is low. You lower yourself so low, you come out sluggish. You don't care. You got to get started. Then there's over here where there's too high. You're jittery, heart's beating fast, you can't breathe. That first mile is death because you can't even catch your breath. Okay? What you want to do is kind of get somewhere in the middle where you're breathing fine. Yeah, I want to calm myself down, but I don't want to get over here into this zone either. And you're kind of in the middle. And as you get to that point, and the more races you do, it'll get easier to see it. I was talking to somebody around one time, and the one thing I asked him was, I said, hey, what does it look like? Looks like I'm stupid. But what does it look like? Did you start sweating? Did your chest go in and out? When you're breathing out of your stomach versus your lungs? Were your legs shaking? Did you get hot? Those are signs that can tell you that there are things that you need to mentally start talking to yourself now. Okay, calm down. Breathe deep. Go into my breath. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to learn right. This is not going to be too hard. Okay, cool down a little bit. Okay, feel the breeze. Okay, walk out of this crowd real fast, get over here by myself, let me feel the air because everybody around me is putting off 90 degrees. Those are the kind of things that you can talk to yourself mentally at the start to get yourself into that nice little area. And we'll talk about another thing about that area, and I won't bring it up because you'll ask me about it. I won't say it. But we'll talk about it more. But there are a lot of things that you can do mentally at the start.